Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. kjradio.com. You can remain calm. Oh, my gosh. But the left, they want you to panic. Yeah, they want a couple of one-off races where billionaires like Steyer out of California sunk money in. Remember that Georgia race that they tried to win? We got within 5 points, and they put a gazillion dollars to get some young chump elected, and that failed. But boy, they have doubled down. They are putting money, and they're winning these individual races. Oh, the Wisconsin race, that's a bellwether for what's going to happen. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Conservative, God-fearing, military-supporting, police-loving, good conservative citizens. You are about to watch 2018 be year 2 of devastation for the Democrats. This will be the worst year in their history. It's already brewing up. I don't know if you caught last week, they got all these FISA documents that are leaking. Dan Bongino, a buddy of mine, works for the Secret Service. You guys probably know Dan. Dan and Sarah Carter are talking about these intel reports that are coming out of the House Intel Committee that they say, from a FISA perspective, in terms of this court that's real hidden and nobody knows who gives authorization to do what, they said Barack Obama's butt is going down. Did I tell you this? Hallelujah. Yeah, I don't want to get preachy this early in the program. Glad you guys are here, by the way. For the newbies that are listening, my name is Kevin Jackson. You're listening to the Kevin Jackson Show, kjradio.com. You can also call us, 844-551-8255. I told it you. I did. I told you. I warned you. I said 2018 will be devastation for the Democrat Party. I'm not an ideologue that wants to see these guys go down. I don't care. Quite frankly, I would love to see these guys come correct and join the bandwagon of being supportive of humans, particularly those that live in America. Look, I'm all about the human race. I want people to be treated great all over the world. In that regard, we are probably all globalist, right? As we start to filter in or look at the rings, if you will, of the world, the closer you get to home, the more homey you feel. I'm using my finger quotes because I guess kind of use the word out of context for some of them white folks out there listening to the program. But you get what I'm saying? For example, I'm going to tell you the people I care the most about, all right? I mean, I care about you guys, but I care about the people that are right in my life. Your kids, your grandkids if you have them, your best friend, your spouse, your mate, whatever, your girlfriend. Those are the people you care the most about. And then you peel back the onion a little bit, and then suddenly you got people that are around them, people that you've met through them. Oh, Kevin, you remember that guy I brought over to your house? Bill, that's been to the barbecue a couple times, or, yeah, he died. Oh, my gosh, seriously? Oh, my goodness. Well, we'll send him some flowers. So you have these associates. You have friends and family. So let's just do it this way. You got family. Then you got your friends, and sometimes your friends can be like family, right? Then you've got associates, people that you interact with all the time. Hey, little Billy's daughter's going to be in the ballet. Kevin, can you make it? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to try to make that. So you care about them. You ain't worried about the ballet in Africa. Some little kid doing a show, for his school. Little Mbuku's going to do his African dance. Well, I have to catch it on YouTube. But there's only so much. So as you expand your universe, the noise gets lower and lower and lower. Pretty soon you can't hear it. Doesn't mean you don't care. People come up with a story. Oh, so-and-so was rescued. 13 kids were rescued from their family who wasn't feeding them. And we're all, oh my gosh, that's horrible. But it isn't as horrible as if it were somebody you knew. So that's just the nature of the beast. You care more about what's, right there with you. So let's look at our little world here. How much do I care who wins the next curling championship in Scandinavia? Not a whole lot. Even though I will tell you, I watch that boring sport. Yeah, but I don't care. If Finland wins this year and Norway doesn't get it, okay. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. But let me tell you, when I look at, the World Cup, or I look at, the Ryder Cup in golf, I want to beat those Europeans. Why? Do I have a stake in it? Am I getting a piece of the purse? When these guys win, are there bragging rights in my local golf league? I got nothing, but I want to win. Why? Because I'm American, and my team, the Americans, are playing against those Brits, those international dudes, right? All of them. America against the world, and I'm for them. The Presidential Cup, the Sondheim Cup, it doesn't matter. The Olympics, I cheer for the Americans. That's the way we work. That's the way and it isn't that you hate the other people. It's just that, you know what? This is my team. And what the left wants to do is they want to beat that out of you. Who do you want to love America? So look, these clowns, we don't have an ideology. I want to win for our country. When the stock market rises, I don't go, I hope only conservatives make money. I hope everybody earns money. When the job markets are down, I want everybody employed. I'm not looking at it. I just want black people employed. I just want women in charge and employed. I just want, Mexicans. No, I want everybody to benefit. Everybody who's legally here and contributing to this country should benefit from its policies. But I don't want Muslim terrorists benefiting. I don't want them setting up rules in no-go zones that I can't go to. I don't want black thugs ruling areas of the country that I can't even approach. I don't want women in charge just because they want to be women so that they can then be misandrous and hate on men. I don't want that. I want people who look at individuals as human beings and say, Kevin, I'm going to offer you this job. So-and-so, I'm going to do this for you, whatever. That's what I want. That's not an ideologue. As much as I can't stand these stupid leftists because of their ideas, the things that they want to implement that add nothing to the fabric of this country, I wish them no harm. Don't think it works the other way. Don't even think about reading my emails. One of these days, somebody will probably publish them. One of my guys told me, he says, Kev, I really wish you wouldn't, fight back so hard against these leftists, man. It's just not godlike and all this. I said, dude, hey, I ain't God. If I was perfect, God wouldn't be working on me. He's working on me, but I'm going to fight. Publish him. I don't care what people, Kevin, you cursed this guy. Yeah, you're doggone right I did. There's a reason for it. We'll be back.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful 4-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. There is a thing called the calm before the storm. The calm before the storm. And I will tell you, there is no calm happening on the left with the Democrats. They are in a sheer panic. Publius Syrus said, anyone can hold the helm when the sea is calm. See, Barack Obama held the helm. And I'm not going to say it was a calm per se, but it was calm in comparison. Oh, and you say in comparison to what? In comparison to 9/11 attacks under George Bush, an economy that, the stock market went down to 7,000, and we had security issues that we didn't know how to deal with. Everything leading up to that, from Bush inheriting what he inherited from Clinton, which, by the way, was a good economy because of the Newt Gingrich Congress. But outside of that, he inherited a mess. Terrorism on the rise. I've given you guys the statistics. By the year 2000, we stopped having terror attacks by the dozens in that decade to having thousands per year. Suddenly, the world was in a really chaos, and it culminated with those idiot Muslims flying those planes into the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, and boom, game on. And so Bush put a lot of energy into that. I'm not excusing his lack of fiscal responsibility or anything, because I'm telling you, I look back on Bush and go, he was a bad president. He chose bad people. He chose rhinos. And he really put leftism on steroids, believe it or not. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how that occurred. It's that it occurred. And what happened then is we get Obama. And everybody felt like the seas were, things were going to calm down. We would be able to get the economy in check. Well, we did. He spent $10 trillion to get an economy moving that had spent it was $10 trillion in debt when he got it. So he doubled that. He increased the deficit. Every year. By mega billions of dollars. Trade went. Our trade policy stunk. Why? Because Barack Obama just thought he was on calm seas. He kept the same policies. He didn't do anything to get China in check, to get Mexico in check, to get Canada in check, Japan, all these countries that are feasting off of our economy. He did nothing to get them in check. This guy did more to essentially make America have to fight decades of wars than any president probably in history. Who sells your mortal enemy your uranium? Who allows that to happen? Who sends billions of dollars to a country who's trying to build a nuclear weapon, who has essentially said, we're doing this so we can wipe you out? Who does this? A person who sees what he's got and says, you know what, these are calm seas. I'm gonna implement things to crush this economy. Anybody else would have come in here and said, holy cow, George Bush has exploded the deficit. He's exploded the debt. We are less safe today, even with Homeland Security. Oh, by the way, we've got the potential for this what do they call it, the Patriot Act, to spy on Americans. But what did Obama do? No, I'm going to take advantage of this stuff. He started this, what do you call it, the civilian army that was going to be bigger than the regular military. Do you know that still exists? I think they call it the CNSF. So I'll look it up just to make sure, but it's something along those lines. It still exists to this day. We're still funding that nonsense. We're going to put a petition to President Trump to drop that immediately, to get rid of it. We don't need a civilian army bigger than our military. We have the National Guard. We have militias. And despite what the left tells you, these men and women out there who are willing to take up arms and protect America, you better be glad they exist. You better be glad they're out there. Those old corn-fed white boys with two teeth are willing to fight and give their lives for you. And you know what Hollywood does? You know what the DC crowd does? These jet setters, these East and West Coast people do? They ridicule these folks. They ridicule the Midwesterners who will gladly face any enemy, foreign or domestic, without even knowing what a cocktail-sipping, weenie-roasting leftist looks like. That's what I'm talking about. You people that I absolutely admire, the type of people that I grew up with. Country boys. What's this in my mouth? Making me talk funny. Yeah, so you've what we're going to teach you today, and I think what I want to focus on is calm. Now, the ancillary of that is panic. And the left are panic. Now, they want you to panic. They're saying things like, Trump's not going to build that wall. Did you hear that? Trump's not going to build that wall. So they're panicking. Or I should say they want you to panic, but they're panicked because he is going to build that wall. Donald Trump had to come out and tweet, don't believe these clowns. He's saying, he made his tweet with something along the lines of, we're going to build the wall everywhere we can build a wall. We're not going to build a wall where there's a mountain. We're not going to build a wall where there's a huge river or something. I mean, I don't know all the different details, but he says, wherever we need that wall, we'll build it. And then we'll monitor anywhere, So he was saying, don't believe the hype. When I finish with you today, I'm telling you, if you don't believe in your heart that the left are so scared, they don't know how to act. Sure, they want a couple of races. Have them. Watch what happens in 2018 in November. Watch what happens. They can't even plan that far ahead. You're going, what are you talking about, Kevin? They can't. They are in such a panic. They've got issues with these FISA warrants. They've got issues with every scandal that Barack Obama said in his scandalous organization didn't occur. They've got issues trying to cover. I want you to think about how much work goes into covering up your lie. Whether it's Benghazi, whether it's the VA scandal, whether it's the IRS. I'm not saying Trump's looking at all these things. I'm saying in what they've asked us to investigate, what they've asked Robert Mueller to investigate, they've weaved a tangled web. A web of deceit, and now it's backfiring. And I'm going to share with you what my buddy Dan Bongino talked about, and also Sarah Carter, that came up last week. That's got the Democrats shaking in their baby seal leather boots, and rightfully so. They are finally about to be exposed. The Congress is calling for release of documents that are going to shake the foundation of the Democrat Party. You, my friends, can calm down. And there's a peace in that. There's a peace in understanding that you only fight for righteousness. I don't want to see the Democrat Party go down per se. But what I want to see is I want to see the crooks that have tried to steal an election, that have tried to negate you in every turn. Valid voter ID, driver's license to fake, they don't want valid voter ID, driver's license to Mexican nationals and anybody else. All in pursuit of a crooked ideology that's about to be exposed in ways you don't even imagine. Stay tuned.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. So I mentioned that there's pretty much been described devastating FISA document implications that actually point the finger at Barack Obama, and that's coming up, and we'll talk about it. But here's what I want to mention before we get into that. I want you to think about the mentality of the leftists who truly believe they're in the right. Now, we on our side say to ourselves, Donald Trump did nothing wrong. The Republican Party didn't collude to win the election. In fact, quite honestly, I don't know how we ever win because the Democrats cheat their butts off. But we didn't collude with the Russians, and there's no mass cheating. We're not looking to stack the deck in terms of illegals voting and things like this. I mean, we could go on and talk about how all the things that are there. And so I want you to consider everything that has to happen for the Democrats to win, because we accuse them of cheating all the time. But here, how do we say they cheat? We say, well, they're bringing in these illegals and double registering voters and things like this. Now, we're rarely accused of that. What they accuse us of is they say they're voter suppression. They don't want to let people have valid vote. They want to require valid voter ID because they know that will depress the vote. So they say we're oppressors and we're keeping people from doing things. Now, I want you to just think in the civilized world, how you could keep someone who's motivated to vote, and all they got to do is get an ID. The same thing they need to get beer, liquor, fly, all the different things. And they say that's oppression. And then we say, but wait a minute, you're moving people around, bussing in churches and things like that. Do we ever get accused of bussing in voters to flip an election? The answer is no. How many election fraud deals have you seen us be involved in? Do we accept foreign money? Do we have these elaborate, dinners? And I know at the highest level we do have these dinners, but I'm saying when you look at the types of activities that the Democrats have in comparison to us, where they have Hollywood level fundraisers, it seems like on an everyday basis, there's no comparison. There's no comparison to the money that comes in from the left to influence elections. That's why I said they can be happy about winning Wisconsin or winning Virginia or whatever. That's individual elections where people pour money in. These guys rally, they cheat, they do everything, they connive, and all we do is go, well, we'll see what happens. So, but all that said, I want you to ask yourself, what happens when these guys figure out that they've been wrong? When they find out that Barack Obama was somehow complicit in exactly what we just talked about with FISA, that Hillary Clinton and her team really did collude. I'm just telling you, I talked about 2018 being a bad year for Democrats in general, and particularly for Obama, and I used something from Tony Shaffer, who's a Fox News an analyst like myself, and he says, a few months after liberals were laughing at Trump over the claim that Obama wiretapped him throughout the elections, Trump finally obtained exoneration. And this is actually true. Obama did really wiretap Trump through the presidential campaign. Tony Shaffer, previous intelligence official, now exposed Obama, blaming him that this is not just a federal offense, but could lead to Obama getting felony charges. Shaffer's terrible statement about Obama's future is quite shocking, especially through the minds of liberals all over America. Now, just stopping there for just a second. I know people are like, okay, it's a felony. Is Obama going to get charged? Quite frankly, I don't even care about that. There's a bigger implication. If Obama can be in prison, he says it might be the first time an ex-president could be accountable for a criminal offense. I believe it is really possible he acted outside of the range of his responsibilities. This is Shaffer still saying this in an interview. Of course he did. He explained that Obama utilizing government assets to wiretap Trump for the purpose of having Hillary in the office because he wished that by doing so, he would generate dirt on Trump to destroy his presidential race, obviously is a crime. Now, the left say that's a lie. You guys are trying to, influence this and make us believe this, that, and the other. And they say that's Fox talk. That's what Fox News would say. I want you to stop and ask yourself for 1 second, what are these clowns going to say when the truth comes out? Because it's about to come out. And many of you guys were, it isn't out yet, but many of you have been naysayers, and I've been telling you in 2018, the truth is going to come out. 2017, Trump said, look, I got to have a track record. I got to have something that you go, man, this dude is good. So he focused on the economy. Good for him. Because it's inarguable that this is one of the best economies in the history of this nation. He's got this thing humming. He's got leftist companies coming back going, shoot, man, we better get in on this gravy train. Why do I need to take my money thousands of miles away, have to deal with all the issues of other governments when I know this government? It's kind of like saying you had a girlfriend, she wasn't that bad, but she started getting a little needy. So you said, you know what, I'll have this long distance relationship for a bit. And the next thing you know, A girlfriend comes back and she says, hey, I'm really sorry. I was too needy. And, if you'll give me another shot, I'll prove to you that I can be the girl that you met. And you do, and you find out, holy cow, she really is. That's what's happening. Or boyfriend, for you ladies out there. There's a lot of ladies. But you get what I'm saying. So, Donald Trump focused on this economy. Yeah. Was he putting out fires with Russia and China and trade and international policy? Absolutely. Did he put NATO on notice? Absolutely. Did he say to Middle Eastern countries, you're going to handle terrorism because we're going to be focusing on our economy? And then in the meantime, bringing back these fat deals for the military and so on and so forth? Absolutely he did. And you know what else he's managed to do that nobody's talked about? What's the debt? Have we talked about the debt going to $22 trillion? Under Trump? No, it's steady. It's steady. It's not growing. In fact, it was negative. He had taken money off the debt. Do you think the media talks about that? So Trump focused on the economy. And now stock market's booming. Companies are coming back. He made a liar out of Barack Obama, a bald-faced liar. And everybody associated with him, they said he can't keep companies in America. They're going away. Trump says, I'll keep them. And not only that, I'll bring some back. How about that? You ready to go all in? So he focused on it. He needed wins, and he needed easy wins. And here's what you can rely. Let me calm down. I want you to be calm. Trump can do this in his sleep. He hasn't even started working hard. Y'all think I'm joking. I'm not even kidding you. I know guys like him. This is 101. He hasn't gotten to 201, and God forbid 401. If you're in college, you know what I'm talking about. He's still freshman level stuff. And so now, when you look at everything that's going on, he's got credibility. He's told you the media lies. They will not tell you the good news. They don't want you to know everything I'm doing because it will destroy their narrative. And when he's done with them, he can focus on this other stuff. And this other stuff is big. Let me just tell you. The man who boasted of transparency as a hallmark to his presidency showed anything but that. Obama told you exactly what his administration was when he commented that his administration was scandal-free. Let's all do it together. Whatever the left tells you is exactly opposite. He knew his administration was full of scandal. And so my buddy Dan Bongino, he was on Fox News, and he said, look, this FISA report that's going to come out, he says, this is a quote, take it to the bank. The FBI FISA docs are devastating for the Dems. The whole image of a benevolent Barack Obama they've disingenuously tried to portray is about to be destroyed. The real Obama, the vengeful narcissist, is going to be exposed for all to see. I feel like I'm reading biblical prophecy. Dan, he's on the inside of this stuff. Former Secret Service agent, Turbo Barack Obama. And he's got no, let me tell you, Bongino's got no vendetta. He's not, like mad at these guys for anything. He would have taken a bullet for that fool. But he also knows the truth. He knows how government runs, and he's tried to run for office a few times himself and failed. But I'm going to tell you, he's spot on with this. The Democrats are so panicked. I'm just telling you, you don't even want to know what's going on in D.C. on their end. And here's the good news. They have no way to keep this tempest in the teapot. None at all. This is done. And I'm going to tell you why in just a second. And it has to do with the courage that it takes to finally say we're going to confront these things, and to understand that you're going to lose some power, if you will, in government, but by exposing it, the people that help are going to gain a lot of power. We'll be back.
Kevin Jackson on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. How bad is this memo that broke on Friday that has been the talk of the weekend? What's the hashtag? Release the memo. Hashtag Obamagate. This is what I told you was going to happen, folks. Welcome back. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. Look, I don't want to sound like I'm a psychic or anything, but I very well could be. I got lots of skills. This is huge. Forget DACA. Forget the election of 2018. What did I tell y'all? What did I tell you? Let me just tell you the pieces I've written, the articles I've written over the past, 2 weeks? I told you. Donald Trump backed the left into the corner on DACA. He pitted illegals against the military. He made these guys make a decision. And unlike the typical response of Republicans, he says, look, you want to shut down government? I'm going to make it about the military. You've seen what happened to the football players. Hello, Colin Kaepernick, are you there? Have you heard anything about that fool in 2018? The answer is no. And you won't. His career is over, and so is the Democrats. DACA will be done the way President Trump wants it. Now, that being said, he will take a look at how some of these kids got to the United States, and he's going to have a humanitarian answer to that that's going to satisfy a lot of leftists. They won't just get automatic citizenship. They're going to have to do some certain things. But don't think for 1 second he doesn't see the humanitarian effort that needs to go into that and total immigration reform in a good way that's permanent, that doesn't allow people to come into our borders. He's already won this war. It is done. And by the way, I told you guys, don't worry about Robert Mueller. Kevin, he's picking a team of people and blah, 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 oh, Hillary people. I said, good. I told you. I said, Donald Trump is a lot smarter than the left believe him to be. That is the worst thing you can do, is underestimate somebody. Take it from a fighter. Take it from a dude who trains, and you go into the gym and you go, oh, look at that little short dude. He, whatever. That little girl, she ain't. Get in there and watch him. You find out they've been training for 18 years and know how to whoop some butt. That's what, you don't take anybody for granted. They took this man for granted. And what's interesting is they took a billionaire graduate from Wharton, a self-made billionaire. They took him for granted. Does that tell you what they thought about you? Man, this is huge. This is big beyond belief. Comey's going to jail. Hillary Clinton, most of her staff going to jail. Barack Obama is likely to, there's going to be something that happens. I don't know if they want to put him in jail, but he's going to get the worst type of treatment as an ex-president. He will make Richard Nixon look like a choir boy when it's all said and done. And it's funny. I got a couple of leftists sending me private messages, DMing me on Twitter. Hey, Kevin. Hey, y'all are just over there all exuberant over nothing. This is much ado about nothing. Let me tell you how much ado about nothing it is. Democrats don't want it out. Play that clip.
What is that this morning the Democrats decided to vote against releasing this memo. That's number one. Number two, when I was in the room, and I've heard from other members of Congress, when they were in the room, there were no Democrats who actually came down to look at this memo. So they were so interested in the Russia collusion story until their Russia collusion story actually started unraveling. So now that we have some information that is being provided to every member of the House, they are unwilling to release it or to even look at it. I think what the American people will find is that they're going to be shocked by this memo. I invite everybody to use the hashtag release the memo. I hope all of your viewers start with the release the memo, because we need to push our House leadership to do this. And I believe that they want to do this. I hope that they do, and that they stand with the American people.
Welcome back, everybody. This is so shocking. This memo that's going to come out is so shocking that the Democrats don't want it out. The Republican leadership is having to take pause in releasing it because, to be honest with you, they're going, we could be a one-party government for quite some time. Don't be fooled by this. This is huge. This is going to point the finger at so many people and so many things inside, so many departments inside of our government that we've grown up trusting. That the Republicans are afraid to do this. They're going, we have to really gingerly think about how to do this. The other part of it is the holy grail of political fodder. It is the holy grail. You couldn't ask for, it would be like stealing the team's playbook, breaking the knees of their top players, and getting away with it. Or getting the entire team sick. Maybe that's a better metaphor. I'm just telling you, this is huge. It's bigger than you can even imagine. Dan Bongino, I was talking about him early. Dan said, you can take this check and cash it. The Democrats are in full-blown panic right now over the Obamagate scandal that's about to become a nightmare for them. Watch them scurry like roaches when the lights come on. That's what he said. Then he says, release the memo. Watch the rats run away like the cowards they are. Your mind's going to be blown. Your eyes are going to be open to both the power of the federal government and the vengefulness of an Obama administration hell-bent on destroying Trump. Remember what's her name? Valerie Jarrett said, when you cross us, we get you. Valerie Jarrett and that whole administration are the most vindictive. They want you and they will make you suffer. Maxine Waters talked about Barack Obama's database on everybody and all this stuff. Let me tell you, this is bigger than his database. This is bigger than anything. There are going to be heads rolling all over D.C. It's going to look like a freaking ISIS invasion of that city when it's all said and done. Remember Eric Holder and Comey tweeting all these, sayings from people, Bible quotes and stuff? I told you all you needed to know. For Obama and his minions, folks, to get away with all these scandals, it was imperative that Hillary Clinton win that election. Imperative. Her loss shocked the Democrats, not because it was to Trump. It shocked them because they were like, how could we possibly lose given everything we did to stop this man? How is that even humanly possible? FBI, media, they had hit campaigns. Those hit campaigns continue to this day. Oh, Donald Trump pays off prostitutes. Yeah, right. Yeah, pays them off with dinner and limo drives and private planes. Shoot, there's a lot of dudes going, hey, Donald, you know what? If you're a little gentle with me, I'd be your girlfriend for a week. Shoot. Not me. No, not me. Don't be looking at me. I want you to imagine for just a second the level that you'd be willing to go to cover up all the scandals that you were involved in that you claim didn't happen. And the reason why Barack Obama goes, my administration has been scandal free. Yeah, we knock on wood. Because he knew he covered everything up. Fast and Furious, killing vets, IRS, Benghazi, you name it. They just covered it all up. Sending money to Iran, the Uranium One deal. What would you do to cover up it's almost incredible to believe that America would allow Hillary Clinton to broker a deal to give 20% of our resources to the Russians And everybody know how much money flowed through the Podesta Group and the Clinton administration, and we're supposed to go, no, it was on the up and up. I mean, I don't see any collusion there. I don't see any influence of Hillary Clinton or anything. I mean, that just happened. You'd have to be a brain-dead moron, a.k.a. leftist, to even fathom that there was no shenanigans happening there, no skullduggery. We're about to learn some stuff, boy, that is going to blow your minds. Yeah. They're going to leave, this scandal is going to leave so many Democrats soul searching. And I will tell you this, I don't often feel sorry for Democrats, but here's why I do. Many of these people believed in the people that they trusted. They really did, because we've been taught that. Look, you've got an ideology that says be this way. It's like Reagan. I was a staunch. You couldn't convince me Reagan wasn't a great guy. You know, he demonstrated it. But I'm saying they think Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, there are people, millions of them, delusional, that believe these people to be good folks, doing the right things. And they're about to get their dreams destroyed, particularly blacks and women. Now, white people, Comey was, he was in collusion. He was doing that. Hey, that's par for the course. Nobody thinks that's like Bernie Madoff cheated some, whatever. But when you start looking at the icons, the Jackie Robinson of presidents, theoretically, at least for the left, what are you going to say when they figure out that he was a scumbag, a total scumbag? What are you going to tell these kids that idolize Barack Obama? That generation of kids. What are you going to tell these women? These young girls that think they idolize Hillary Clinton.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
How's Donald Trump going to build that wall? He's going to build it from all the bricks the left are crapping right now. Welcome, everybody. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. And I got to tell you, I am feasting right now. I am having a wonderful time looking at the left finally get what's coming to them. We are having our comeuppance, as they say. Glad you guys are here. kjradio.com, the Kevin Jackson Show. So, oh my goodness, man, this is, it's fun to watch in one respect because, there's no love lost between me and the left. These are people that threaten me. They think I'm foolish. I just can't get over the idea that somebody would come to a grown man unsolicited and say, "You're an idiot, man." I go, look, I may know that you're an idiot, but it's none of my business. You know what I mean? Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm the guy that sees a guy, I don't know, with a ladder at the wrong angle, and I just walk by and go, look, maybe he thinks he knows what he's doing. Who am I to correct you if you think you can disobey the rules of physics or the rules of geometry? Take your pick. If you believe it, fine. I'm not one to get in your business. Now, if you were to say to me, "Excuse me, sir, do you think that this angle of my ladder is safe?" I'd say, geometrically speaking, no. From a physical point of view, you're about to crack your skull. Have a nice day. But if you don't ask me, I'm not going to tell you. Now, if you're a kid, I'll tell you. I'll come up, I'll say, hey, just for your benefit here, your ladder needs to be a certain angle based on the distance that you're up. You want to maintain a certain angle, okay? It's a safe angle. You can violate it a little bit, but it's based on your weight and condition, so I wouldn't play around with it. I would give you that advice. But if you're a grown butt man, nope. Darwinism. I mean, come on. Maybe your old lady needs a new husband. If you're going to try to paint at 30 feet in the air with your ladder at a 5-degree angle. Good luck with that. Oh, my goodness. The left are in a tizzy, folks. I love this. You want to know why? Because we've been telling them. Don't you feel good? It's like, look, when you have kids, you don't wish anything bad on them. But if they do something wrong and you've been warning them, you're like, there you go. I told you, quit sticking that fork in the electric thing. What? You got a blister on your head now? Your hair's all jacked up? What? It knocked you out for an hour? Whatever it is, you've been warned. How many times have you warned people and said, look, I understand you believe that your way is right. You think your things are going to work out your way. They are not. Don't do it. Oh, man. Tell you guys, the catchword for us is calm. There's a saying, to remain calm in the daily struggle. And I say this, teach yourself to relax. See, I can get all worked up on the show like this is crazy. But then I can relax. And I can say, hey, I want you to understand the range of emotions that you need to go through here, but understand this. At the end of it, you can relax. You want to know why you can relax and the left can't relax? They have nothing to fall back on. They have no belief system. What are they going to fall? Many millions. Pay attention to me now. I'm preaching. Many millions of people right now in this country believe Barack Obama is the most amazing man they've ever heard of in their lives, especially old black people. They're about to get a rude awakening on this dude. A rude awakening. I'm just telling you. They're going to finally, the information that we're learning about Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton is going to filter down, and it's going to be a rude awakening. I'm talking about the black folks now. I'm just talking to black people. You white people, take a break. Not a long one. Smoke them if you got them. No, don't. But the black folks that have believed in Obama, they believed that he was, forthright and true and real and all these things. The bubble's about to burst, if it hasn't already. And they're going to be naysayers. Oh, that report, all that information is a bunch of nonsense. It's been fabricated. It's been fabricated. I'm just telling you. Don't look at me like I'm crazy. What else can you say? If you are a leftist and you're starting to learn what we're learning now about these memos. What do you think? You think Donald Trump sat around before the election writing them? No. But Donald Trump, I'm going to tell you something. He remains calm. Calm in the daily struggle. Calm. If you're calm about your ambitions, you become confident that you can achieve them. And that's what makes it calm. If you have prepped, I don't know, I've trained many people, and you know what I tell them? When you're to the point where I've trained you in whatever it may be, typically it's martial arts, but if I've trained you in it, I tell you this, trust your training. Not your instincts. Trust your training. What have you been doing? Come on now, talk to me, white folks. What have you been doing? Are you training? You're doggone right you are. If you've been listening to my show, you've been in training. I've been teaching you for the better part of now going on 9 years. I've been doing radio. I've been telling you guys, stop. Don't give me your belly aching. Oh, Kevin, if I were black, I could say this. You can say it now. You got a mouth and a tongue. Can you make ooh sounds? Okay, then you can say it. Don't give me that nonsense. I'd say it. I said it the other day. I'm not a woman, but I'm bad on feminists. Why? Because I think the feminist movement, when it's strictly we're women and we want our rights, I completely agree with the feminist movement. But when we're women and we hate men, I completely disagree with that movement. And that's what the feminist movement became. But I don't have to be a woman to talk about it. Kevin, they're never going to invite you to the Republican women's whatever. Fine. Oh my goodness, what will I do if I don't get to go to that? I've already spoken in one, by the way, so that's just not true. My stance is my stance. Your stance is your stance. Why do you get chumped out? See, you've been proven right. November 8th of 2016, you were vindicated. I don't want to make it all biblical, but it was almost like, Trump came down and washed away all your political sins. That's sure to make some leftists mad. Kevin Jackson called Donald Trump God. No, I'm not like Jamie Foxx. I'm not like Chris Rock that believes that Trump is our daddy or he's our Lord and Savior, as Jamie Foxx says. But I'll tell you what, he's doggone close. He's doggone close. The guy's good. He's got talent. He's good. Calm. Trump's calm because he knows what he's doing. He knows the direction he wants to go. Short break, folks. We'll be back in just a bit.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful 4-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Guaranteed equal. Can you direct the Justice Department to say Hillary Clinton will be treated as the evidence goes, she will not be in any way protected?
I guarantee that there is no political influence in any investigation conducted by the Justice Department or the FBI, not just in this case, but in any case.
And she will be
full stop. Period.
Period. Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. The Kevin Jackson Show, kjradio.com, if you want to find out more about us. 844-551-8255. Barack Obama, scumbag, highest order. The left knows it. We know it. And they don't like it. They don't like it when we call them out on it. But that was Barack Obama's flashback when he was on not 60 Minutes, but on Chris Wallace's show. No scandal whatsoever. Same guy that told us there were no scandals in his administration, period. Same guy that told us that if you like your plan, you can keep your plan, period. The same guy that says if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor, period. And you know what we're finding out? That ain't exactly true. Yeah, so let's play another clip. We got like 3 or 4 clips. It's really the same thing, but I want you to understand that the Republicans have finally gotten... they're finally at a point where they're saying, you know what, we can feel confident about Donald Trump. These guys are saying, get this document out there. From the very moment it came out, get this document, release this document. Who do we want to play? Want to do Jim? No, let's not do Jim. Let's do Mark Meadows because he kind of got it started. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As many of you know, we have had a Russian narrative that has been going on because of an infamous dossier. And while there's been much reported on it, I can tell you that the Intel Committee has been fast at work, and Chairman Nunes has been doing outstanding work to get to the truth for the American people. today I had the opportunity to go into a confidential setting to make sure that what we can do is understand better what actually took place. And I'm here to tell all of America tonight that I am shocked to read exactly what has taken place. I would think that it would never happen in a country that loves freedom and democracy like this country. It is time that we become transparent in all of this, and I am calling on our leadership to make this available so that all Americans can judge for themselves.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson, it's the Kevin Jackson Show. That was Mark Meadows, a representative who said from North Carolina, and he, in no uncertain terms, he's saying, look, this vindicates everybody. Vindicates you, vindicates Donald Trump, vindicates. This is vindication. This is, I was talking to a friend of mine. She's one of my partners in Tea Party Community, teapartycommunity.org. And I'm going to be making a swing, in fact, around the country, getting people to sign up, groups to sign up, and members to sign up so we can start doing community-based activities and growing this movement. Now, we just got an amazing shot in the arm because let me tell you something. The Democrats are, to say that they're scared is an understatement. This is the kid who sees the monster with the fangs, the clown with the fangs under his bed, and he doesn't want to go in the room. They're scared. And they have a reason to be. They went all in on Barack Obama. They went all in on Hillary Clinton. It would have been one thing if they had said, look, let's go with Obama because, we've got a track record with him. But then when they tried to shoehorn Hillary into the White House and what you're going to learn about everything Hillary and her crew knew and all that, this is bad. Good for us, bad for them. Good for the country. We don't know if we should do it because, these people are blah, blah, blah. Look, you can do it. You can release the documents. You absolutely can. We can take it. We can handle it. When I was talking to Catherine, my partner in Tea Party Community, I was telling her, I said, we already know. There's nothing you can tell us about Obama or Hillary Clinton or the Democrats that we don't know. Kevin, they kill people. Really? I'm shocked. There wouldn't be a Republican on the planet that's going to go, whoa, seriously? I'm talking about a plugged-in Republican. You'd be like, okay, yeah, whatever. Or Barack Obama, he knew about it. He was in a meeting. Whatever. Yeah. There would be no surprises, but the surprise will be on the other side. And you got to understand the psychology of it. The psychology of finding out that everything you believed in, that you put your faith in, somebody just pulled the rug out from under you. The first thing you do, does anybody know? Do you guys know? Denial. You go, no, not Donnie Brasco. Remember that movie, Donnie Brasco? And he infiltrated the mob, and he had them so fooled when they said Donnie turned us, was like a Fed. They were like, no, not Donnie. No way. Well, the guys who had vouched for Donnie, it was over. They knew it. And so they were like, no, not Donnie, because we're all dead. If it's Donnie, we're all dead. Well, it was Donnie. Here's Donnie. So the Democrats vouched for Barack Obama. They vouched for Hillary Clinton. They vouched for John. Look, if they were mafiosos, they would have been dead years ago. They would have been dead after the first term of Barack Obama. I could just see the movie. Hey, listen, I know what you're trying to say. I know the black guy, he's not cutting it. He's not cutting it. I mean, look, he's not cutting it. That's all I got to say. Forget about it, okay? Look, it's business. It's business. And they'd smoke them. They absolutely would. But and this isn't mafia. They can't smoke him. I told you, if they smoke Obama, they smoke themselves. It's kind of like Donnie Brasco. They had invested so much in Donnie Brasco the mafia, this particular crew, that where Donnie went, they went. It's the same thing with Obama. Where Obama went, the left went. He was an anchor or something, dragging him off a cliff, and nobody had the guts to cut the thing. It reminded me of that movie, Master and Commander, when the mast falls off the ship in this raging storm, and it's just tugging the boat in, and they're like, Captain, we've got to cut the rope or it's going to sink the ship. And finally, Russell Crowe, the captain of the ship, they start cutting it, and it left the kid out there. He died. But that's what the left should have done to Barack Obama. They should have left him in that boiling ocean on that piece of lumber with that sail on it and said, hey, sorry. But they didn't do it. They were all in. And now they are scared, boy. Woo! And they have every reason to be. So anyway, I was going to do another plug for the Tea Party community, but we'll come back and do that.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Not only so Hillary wouldn't get in trouble on the email server scandal, we know felonies were committed. She fixed the primary, rigged the primary. Sounds like they're fixing and rigging here a general election or to overturn an election. And, whatever word you want to describe that. Fixing, rigging, a coup, I don't know.
Yeah, you are describing the very elements of a palace coup. And after Jim and Mark Meadows and many others of us reviewed the intelligence information today, it is abundantly clear that the entire Mueller investigation is a lie built on a foundation of corruption. And what is so important is that we get this information into the public square. The best disinfectant for this corruption is going to be sunshine, and that's why Jim Jordan and I have joined many other members of Congress in calling for this information to be released for the review of all of the American people. Sean, when you've been on this show each and every night making claims about the bias and the corruption and the deep state, people have accused you and your guests of being tinfoil hat folks, lone voices in the wilderness. This critical intelligence information will vindicate the claims that have been made by so many, and it is absolutely essential that we share it with all Americans. That's what we're fighting for in the Congress.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. You want some irony? I'll give you some irony. Who was that? Who was that we just had? Was there? I don't even know what congressman it was. I think it was DeSantis. No, it wasn't. It was not DeSantis. But anyway, he's telling Sean Hannity, you've been called all kinds of crazy things since you've been on TV, and they call you conspiracy theorists. They tell us we're crazy and all these other things, and you've been vindicated. He's telling Sean, I can't tell you what's in there, but you've been vindicated. Now, do you think, look at the number of congressmen, Republican congressmen who've come out against this. The guy who has not said a word except to say it shouldn't be released is Adam Schiff out of California. That guy's more dangerous than Schumer and Pelosi combined. He's been on this witch hunt. When this is all said and done, Adam Schiff should be run out of D.C. He should. There should be some sort of remedy for a person who has been on this big of a witch hunt, has a personal vendetta of what against the president, and then comes up empty. And in fact, everything he said was a lie. You know what was interesting about this report? They opened it up to the 60 people or whatever on the committee. Not a single Democrat went to look at it. And you know what we haven't had? We haven't had a single leak. We've had people alluding to it. Look, you've been vindicated, Sean. Jim Jordan said something else. Other people, we'll play some other clips too. But they'll allude, this is, this points up to the highest levels and things like that. But that's all they say. We haven't heard, it definitely ties Obama. There's this or that. When there was anything going on with this so-called Russian collusion investigation, Adam Schiff and many of these other Democrats were leaking information in hopes of getting Trump, impeached or whatever. And you know what's funny? Our theme for the show today is calm and panic, the yin and yang of them. Trump is calm. I said to people many times, I said, does that look like the demeanor of a guilty man? Trump would come out, blah, blah, blah. When Bill Clinton was under fire for the Lewinsky thing, before he even admitted it, you knew he was guilty. Because Bill Clinton was like, listen, we just need to move on and do the nation's business. We're just going to move forward and do the nation's business. And we're going to do the nation's business and the nation's business and the nation's business. And it became a big deal. We're not going to get caught up in all these things. We're just going to do the nation's business. And they had tested that phrase, came out okay. They said, this is what you use, Bill. Don't let him say anything. And every time he came out, you could look at him and you went, he's guilty. Even the left knew he was guilty. Hillary Clinton knew. Everybody around him knew. You want to know why? Because they know his character. They knew he was guilty. And now as he talked about, going to do the nation's business, going to do the nation's business. Trump's like, yeah, so, we're going to do, get rid of this. We're going to go over and there's no catchphrase. Trump's just like, yeah, we're saving jobs. We got Apple coming back. Hey, you noticed Apple came back? Look at this economy. Look at this stock market. Look at this. Look at that. And nothing for subterfuge. In fact, he's begging you to look at his work. Look at it. Go investigate. When they said the Russians, he says, go for it. Talk to whomever you need. I don't care. If there's somebody that's done something illegal, let me know. We'll do what we need to do. I don't care. And he goes back and he sleeps in the bosom of Melania. Well, Melania's bosom, or the bosom of Melania's arms, whatever. But he sleeps pretty good. Unlike Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton hasn't had a good night's sleep in about 20 years. You know it. I mean, both those guys are the same age. You wouldn't know it to look at them. Donald Trump looks like he's 20 years younger than Clinton. And I'm going to tell you something else. Donald Trump may get younger in the presidency versus older. You know how people, they become president and they get that gray hair? Donald Trump's going to get, his hair is going to start turning back, to blonde. It's going to get fuller. He's going to get fitter. Donald Trump's going to age in the negative direction. He's going to buck that trend. Oh, man. The ageless wonder. The Midas man. Donald Midas Trump. Unbelievable. I'm just telling you, these guys, I'm looking at this scenario really sadly. You know what I'm sad? I'm sad for our nation. We trust government. We're supposed to be able to trust them. These people, I think this is part of the reason why Republicans were hesitant to get this stuff out there. They're like, man, this is so explosive. People have been talking about this government being corrupt. I don't think they know to what degree. The average person doesn't. We do. Nothing they're going to tell us will surprise us. Because we're saying, Rand Paul was on TV the other day. He says, look, he's the biggest, security guy. Like, you don't give up your rights. He says, I understand the need for a FISA court. He says, but the problem is when it starts looking at Americans, we have an issue. So people get it. They understand why we put these rules in play. What we don't understand is why there are selective people, the elitists, that feel like I can break the rules. And Barack Obama's that guy. Donald Trump is a letter of the law dude. He can file bankruptcy. Hey, I did it. It was the law let me do it. What are you mad at me for? You don't like it? Change the rules. He's that simple. It's cut and dry. But not Obama. Rules don't apply to me. I will never forget. You can't find this video. God is my witness. You can't find this video. Barack Obama said he was sitting with Michelle Obama being interviewed, and they said, what happens if you win the presidency? You're going to still be able to do these things and, whatever he's going to do, play basketball. He goes, no. He goes, you got to give all that up. I mean, you become president, you work for the people. And you got to understand that's the commitment you've made to them. You pretty much lose your personal life. You lose your family life. You give that up in service to the people. Now, I'll ask you, do you think that happened? How much of Barack Obama's life did he give up? Because I'm going to tell you something. If you ask me, he added 4 lives to his life. This dude lived like the money was endless. Well, his time is short. The perception that people are going to have for him is going to change dramatically. The perception of what people are going to have for the presidency will change dramatically. The good news is Donald Trump's he's at least going to be able to say, well, I straightened it out. I want you to go back and reflect on what Trump said when he talked about draining the swamp. And people, how many politicians do you know? I'm going to go up to Washington. I'm going to change Washington. How many have said that? Many, right? Even in the movies, they say that nonsense. Watch out, Washington. I'm going to be changing you. They don't change anything. I caution, congressmen and senators. I go, look, stop saying that, because you're not. You're going to be one guy. If we're lucky, you'll be one guy in a sea of swamp rats, or in a lake of swamp rats, or a swamp of swamp rats. I'll get my body of water right here in a minute. But you're going to be one guy. And you're probably going to get corrupted. Donald Trump was uncorruptible. He had too much money, and he has a lot of pride. And he also wanted to get it done. That's why he was uncorruptible. Donald Trump's he wasn't going to get up there and go, ooh, yeah, man, this is the allure of being president. Donald Trump is just as well known, almost just as well known prior to being president as he is now. Around the world, there's no difference. There's no starstruck mentality. There's no nothing. I'm just president now. He sees it as CEO. Is he used to it? Of course he is. Guy's had 20,000+ employees most of his life. He's not worried about that. Anyway, I was going to talk about this Comey thing. I will when we come back, because I want to play a couple more clips, and we're going to get off this subject. But this is going to be around for a while. Get used to it. This is the most amazing thing in our lifetime, politically speaking.
Kevin Jackson on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. I don't want to eat up all of our time on this very important story about this FISA memo stuff that's going to come out, and it's already starting to leak out. But this is big. So I want to finish up, and we're going to move on to some other stuff. But I played a few clips from different people. I want to finish playing some of these because I think it's important that you understand that there are lots of people out there who are looking into this and who are saying the same things. And they're not being issued talking points. They're saying, holy cow, they're going down there. They're on the Senate Intelligence Committee. They're looking at this stuff and they're going, or maybe it's the House Intelligence Committee, sorry. And they're going, this is amazing. We didn't even know this could happen in America. So here's DeSantis. He's on Fox and Friends. Very revealing. And I think we've got Jim Jordan, which may be the most revealing. But here's one of them.
Does it help us answer this question? Did the Obama administration use intel from the dossier, from Chris Steele specifically, to surveil Trump officials?
I think that's one of the central issues in the memo, and I definitely want all Americans to be able to read what actually happened in that respect.
Is Paul Ryan is he for releasing this at this point?
I think he will, but, the Speaker's done a good job pressing. Remember, Rod Rosenstein fought tooth and nail to not produce this information to the Congress, and we were thinking about, well, why would he have done that? And I think it's because there's information in there that doesn't make either the DOJ or the Bureau look, and this is not the whole DOJ or the whole Bureau. This is a select cast of characters. But Paul Ryan stood up to him and said, no, we got to get it. So I think so. And here's the thing. Remember that Peter Strzok text message where they're in Andrew McCabe's office with Lisa Page, and he says, I'd like to think what you said that Trump can't win is true, but I'm afraid we at the FBI can't take that risk, and we need an insurance policy. So as I'm reading the memo, I kept thinking back to that text message, and is this investigation the insurance policy because somebody like Strzok wanted to keep Trump out of the White House? What was Steele's relationship with the FBI? If he was a paid source, or he was somebody who was working with them, to go talk to the media, I mean, that is just totally outrageous, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why Grassley and Graham want Steele investigated. But yeah, they're running interference. They are trying to affect the outcome of the election. There's no doubt about that's what they were doing.
And after this is released, will heads roll at the DOJ or the FBI?
Welcome back, everybody. I cut the clip there just to leave you with a cliffhanger. Of course heads are going to roll. There'll be a few that roll at the DOJ and the FBI currently, but there are going to be a lot of people who are out of the DOJ and the FBI whose heads are going to roll. Comey, he's one. I mean, there's a lot of folks. Eric Holder ought to be scared as well. And the reason why I'm going to shift the little gears just a bit here, because Newsweek got raided. If you guys, I don't know if we talked about that, but Newsweek got raided. But here's what's by the FBI. But what was interesting to me is they actually did an article, and with all of this stuff going on, they did an article saying Hillary might still become president if this Russian allegation thing turns out to be something. That is the definition of an optimist. I want you to understand something. The Democrats have known what we've known. Didn't have any proof of, but they've known it for a long time. Adam Schiff, Democrat out of California, he's aware of this. He's a mole in our government. A socialist mole who did everything he could to keep Trump out, kept the lid on this thing as long as he possibly could. We just did a flashback of him saying, Trump's going down, Trump. The very next day after Nunes shows him documents, the very documents we're starting to talk about now, he says, we can't really talk about that. Suddenly, Mr. Confident went to tight-lipped. That was in April of 2017. This guy has known about this for months, and he didn't say a word. Why? Because he was hoping it was going to come to something. He didn't care what it was. This is railroaded justice if you've ever seen it. This is every one of those movies where the black guy gets accused of rape, and it was old Billy Bob, her boyfriend, who beat her up and raped her and blamed old Moses. This is exactly it. On a level that we don't even really think about. That's exactly what was happening. This witch hunt was to say, we're pinning this on Donald Trump no matter what. Schiff is in just as much trouble as some of these other people. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Look, people, you guys are out there shaking your heads going, no. But let me tell you, there's a bunch of you now going, you know what, Kevin? I'm starting to believe it. I'm starting to think about this. I'm starting to understand. Maybe you're right. But what's so, I don't know if it's sad, interesting, crazy, but as I said, Newsweek, this lady named Naya Rajamani, just nearly a year after President Trump's inauguration, a Harvard professor says 2016 presidential candidate Hillary Clinton could still become commander-in-chief. Lawrence Lessig, the Roy L. Furman Professor of Law and Leadership at Harvard, penned an essay for Medium, it's a magazine, in October outlining a series of hypothetical scenarios that could take place should the ongoing probe find the Trump campaign actually conspired with Russia to influence the election results. This just, can I wrap this in a nicer bow than telling you, here's Wackadamia, who still has the pipe dream that Hillary Clinton is going to become president, and they give you a series of scenarios. Hey, let me give you a series of scenarios. My cousin, who's in prison, could become president. And let me give you this scenario. I'm just playing around, but you get what I'm saying. It is impossible for Hillary Clinton to become president. They've disillusioned, the left have disillusioned millions of people. Disillusioned millions of young girls. I don't know how many girls really follow Hillary. I don't think it's as many as they want to claim. But there's some people that really trusted Hillary, trusted Obama, trusted the DNC, trusted the Democrat Party, trusted Bernie Sanders. What's Bernie Sanders going to look like now? He sold out to the biggest crooks on the planet. Everybody had to fix in. And this chump decided he was going to take the money and run. And now he's going to criticize Trump. Come on. Look, if we had a genuine nation, a genuine set of politicians on the left who were working for this country, would we be having these discussions that we're currently having? Donald Trump's performance has been practically magical. I'd be saying this if it were Barack Obama. And what do these guys do? They are colluding, cheating, even after a free and unfair election that Trump happened to win. They are still colluding to get rid of this man. How much, if you want to know why you can't release the data, or maybe they are hesitant, it's because they don't want you to understand just how corrupt those people are. That's not for Paul Ryan to decide. If Trump did conspire with Russia, this article says, the president, quote, should resign, or if he doesn't, he should be impeached. Now, I'm just curious. Who do you think Lawrence Lessig is politically? Do you think he was a Hillary Clinton supporter or a Trump supporter? The Roy L. Furman Professor of Law and Leadership at Harvard. What do you think he is? How do we fund? I mean, it's a private institution. Fund it any way you want. Harvard alumni, shame on you. Most search engines would even call that article clickbait. Hillary Clinton could possibly win. Do you know how many leftists clicked on that going, what? Are you kidding? Bill Clinton has a better chance of beating Usain Bolt in 100 meters than Hillary Clinton has of becoming president. Lessig said the scenario is possible. He says this is one way it could happen, but it's very different from saying I think it will or should, or that the evidence is there for it to happen. So in other words, Lawrence Lessig, you wrote a paper that was essentially, oh, well, it's a possibility. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but, probably won't. What kind of paper is that? Who paid Lawrence Lessig to write this paper, and for CNN or Politico, whoever picked it up, to even talk about it? Who picked this up? Who wrote this? Remind me. Do you even know? Newsweek. Why would you even write this? I mean, how low is the lamestream media willing to stoop to make people believe that this is something that can happen? And the bigger question is, why would you even want it? With the bit of evidence that you have, the knowledge of Hillary Clinton, the buzzards circling this woman, why would you want her to be president? Well, let me tell you this. In short order, you're not going to find anybody that wants to tell you that they voted for Hillary, they supported her, or anything else. That woman will be lucky to stay out of prison.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Folks, we are dealing with the delusional people. The most delusional people in the world are the American left. Welcome to the Kevin Jackson Show, kjradio.com. We are talking about calm and panic, the yin and the yang. When I started doing these sort of themed shows, I would just pick a topic like, fortitude. So there may be fortitude, somebody willing to carry on, but there's always somebody ready to give up. So I was thinking maybe we need to cover both sides of it, because let me tell you what you have. You have fortitude. You have calm. There's a calm that comes over you when you are fighting for righteousness. There is. I'll tell you, when I was a kid, I never thought about death. I mean, you think about death because it exists and all that. But as a kid, you'd think you're bulletproof. But I remember when I would be contemplative about death, I would be like, man, I don't want to die. Man, I'm young. I don't want to die. I just want to be like, have my life. And as you get older, you get a calm about it. It's inevitable. You're like, it's going to happen. You can't even control how it happens necessarily. You just know that it's going to happen. And you pray that it's in your sleep or doing something really cool, so it isn't like, you're with ISIS getting your head cut off. But other than that, it's going to come, and you discipline the idea. And there's a calm that comes from it, because you know what you've done? Over the years, you've learned to discipline the idea that you're not going to live forever. As a kid, you don't think about it. So when you're forced to think about it, you're like, oh, shoot, I'm not going to live forever. Well, it still looks like a long time. It's like 50, 70 years away. So it feels like a long time. But when you get in your 50s or in your 60s, you start going, I'm on the other side of that hill. And so it is coming. And you have a calm. But you've trained yourself for that. You understand the inevitable. And as I tell you all the time, if you're a Christ follower, you're going to win. You're going to win in the end. All these people are out there going, oh, man, I don't know about this God thing. That seems like a weird concept. Okay, if you look at the makeup of the universe and you can't believe in God, shame on you. If you are a Christ follower, as flawed as you are, if you do the things that God wants you to do, because we're never worthy. No matter how much good we do in this world, we're never worthy of entering the kingdom of heaven. But if you believe in this and you go talk to your pastor about it, but you're going to get there because you have this faith in this other thing. That's really all it takes. It requires you to believe that other thing exists. And so if you do, and I'm not telling people that, I'm not making people become religious, but when you have that, you get a calm about you. I can speak to it firsthand because my brother was saved years ago, became a pastor, and I've witnessed that calm. You just don't shake him. Doesn't really matter what happens. He's like, it is what it is, man. This is a temporary resting place. Don't take it too serious. Don't get too caught up in it. Don't get too caught up in your toys and your things and your legacies and all that. This is a resting place for you, dude. Get over it. The bigger thing's coming. And if you believe that, you don't worry about this. You have a calm. So you've trained for much of your calm. The left doesn't train that way. They don't believe in a higher power, accountability and things like that. For them, there is no moral core. The reason why you're calm about government is you've been saying this for a long time. Let me help you out here. You've been saying, you know what? Right wins in the end. Now, we've had the most corrupt government we've ever seen in the past 8 years. And you know what happened? The curtain got pulled back. And there's Obama in his black socks and his my grandfather used to wear them in those boxer shorts, pulling levers with George Soros up above him with the puppet strings. It's been pulled back. And it's only going to get worse. And you knew it. Why? Because that's how things correct. Evil doesn't win in the end, period. It doesn't. It never does. The leftists think it do because they get their pensions, take a few vacations on you, laugh at you at their cocktail parties or whatever. But they don't win in the end. You do. Anyway, I want to talk about James Comey's new job. He's teaching a course on ethical leadership at William and Mary beginning in the fall. That's if he's not in prison. The course will meet primarily at the college's D.C. Center and once at the campus in Williamsburg, Virginia. And Comey, they say, is going to teach the course with Drew Stelgis or something like that, Executive Assistant Professor of Education and Assistant Vice President for Student Leadership. He graduated from William and Mary in 1982, and they said the school is thrilled. Let me tell you what's going to happen when this all shakes out. They will rescind this offer. Academia is going to get an overhaul. Hollywood's already going through an overhaul, but it's going to get worse. All these liberal institutions, these leftist institutions that have brainwashed kids, brainwashed some of you, don't turn away, are going to get an overhaul. A much needed overhaul. Because they've been duplicitous to say the least. They say this class says, ethical leaders lead by seeing above the short term, above the urgent or the partisan, and with a higher loyalty to lasting values. More importantly, the truth. That's what Comey said. Building and maintaining that kind of leadership in both private and public sector is a challenge of our time. One of the most crooked people on the planet is going to teach ethics at a college. I want to let that sink in with you for just a second. They will rescind this offer. Trust me. Comey's in hot water more than you could ever know. But you know what the left wants you to do? They want you to believe they're calm. But here's the difference between the left and the right. Donald Trump is calm. He's been calm since the moment they accused him of whatever it was. Because Trump's like, I know I'm right, and I'll sue to prove I'm right. If I got to get every record, whatever it takes, I will sue. I'll have it. Character. He'll do whatever it takes. Everybody doesn't have that opportunity. I remember when Mark Cuban sued the government, and he said it was a small amount. He spent more on attorneys than he did in the money that they were charging him. But he said it was the principle. But he said this: if I hadn't been a wealthy man, I couldn't have done it. And this fool is still a leftist. This is how sick that ideology is. The sickness of an ideology that would take a crook and give him a high six-figure job at a university and pretend that James Comey can teach these kids about ethics. It's sick. We got a lot to talk about, folks. We won't just be covering the FISA stuff. So hang in there. Listening to Kevin Jackson, kjradio.com.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful four-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
What's up, everybody? Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. Let's do a little pop culture. What do you say? Have a little fun. I mean, we're about to have a blast. You're going to go through a news cycle over the next month, maybe longer. If they draw things out a bit, you're going to have a blast. You are going to be vindicated. You should be get in the face of a leftist and go, what I tell you? Yeah. See what they have to say. What did I tell you? I told you that dude was crooked. I told you it was a bunch of lying scumbag, whatever. You handle it any way you want. You can keep it above brow. Hey, listen, just out of curiosity, what do you think about Hillary Clinton going to prison? You know, just out of curiosity, what do you think about finally having proof that Barack Obama actually did wiretap Donald Trump and he broke a bunch of laws? What do you think should happen to him? You know, if you want to keep it highbrow, keep it highbrow. I'm going to be like totally ghetto. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to be like, yeah, brother. Holding my crotch, the whole deal. I'm going to be straight up ghetto. Yep, certainly am. Hey, I'm going to be at the Dorchester event at KYK, through the radio station up in Salem, Oregon, KYKN. My buddy Gator, owner of the station, great man, a lot of good people up there. I cannot wait, truly cannot wait to see you folks again. So I'll give more specific details when it gets a little bit closer to the event, but I will be at that event. So get your tickets and, you know, I don't, you know, just come hang out. I promise you it's going to be a blast. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to give a speech that's going to rock your world. So let's be there. Anyway, $1,200 UGG boots. Have you seen these? These boots had to be done on a bet. Now, here's what I want you to picture. I want you to picture an elephant in boots. UGG boots are ugly. Anyway, that's the name, UGG, with 2 G's. UGG. Yeah, like ew. See, it's ew. And then there's ew. That's what these are. These are UGG. They're ugly. And so the UGG boots normally go up just above your ankle. These come up to your thigh. But they're made so that they fall and they wrinkle. Okay? Here's what they look like. And don't get offended, but they look like a fat dude, you know, his leg, a fat dude's legs, or a fat girl. Take your pick. Fat person, fat LGBT. Take a pick. Q, LGBTQ. Yeah, let's pick on them. Fat LGBTQ legs. So they're the ones I saw were brown, and they wrinkle up like a Shar-Pei. You know what a Shar-Pei is? You guys know what a Shar-Pei dog is. What kind of dog do you have? I know I'm getting off the subject. So it doesn't matter what kind of dog my producers have. So, but it looks like a Shar-Pei, you know, little wrinkly dogs, or a what do they call it? The little terrier, the Pekingese, like a Pekingese, because they breathe like that. Don't ever sleep in a room with a Pekingese. Whoo! Those dogs snore. But that's what they look like, going up your leg, and it wrinkles down. And these boots, these UGG boots, are $1,200. Let me tell you something. I know ladies like their shoes, but if a girlfriend, wife, whatever of mine bought those boots for $1,200, and I mean, I'm going to have to tell you, we would have to have a conversation. Because, number one, why would you do that to your legs to make them look like they're Shar-Peis hanging off your legs? Why would you do that? If you got pretty little legs, show your legs. That's why the boots, I'm just going to put it this way. There is nothing sexier than a boot, a woman wearing a heel boot, you know, in a nice dress or whatever. I mean, just the way that the boot makes your makes your foot, walk. That's why they make them. Let me tell you, you wear flats, you could be pretty. A guy will go, wow, she's really pretty. Put a girl in flats and boots, and the dude is like, wow, she gained a 1. You know, like if you're an 8, you're a 9. Period. Boots do that. Not UGG boots. UGG boots take you from whatever your number is down 2. I'm being serious, ladies. Stay away from the UGG boots. All right. Here's our next pop culture thing. You may not even know who this is. You guys know who, you guys are young enough. You know who the situation is, right? Yeah. So 99% of the audience doesn't know who the situation is, but I'll tell you. So there was that show Jersey Shore, and one of the Italian dudes, he called himself The Situation. I don't know why. I heard an interview with Ludacris. Do you know who Ludacris is? You guys know who Ludacris is. I'm talking to the audience. I know you guys know. Ludacris is a rapper. And I heard an interview where he said, yeah, I just took the name Ludacris because, I was like, it was Ludacris. I was doing, it was the two sides to me, and I would do, be really nice, and I could do some really stupid stuff. So I was like, this is Ludacris. And so he took the name. That's how he gave himself the new name, Ludacris. Congratulations, Ludacris. By the way, don't ever watch that kid act. He's the worst actor. I spent 10 minutes of my life, I wish I could get back, watching parts of Fast and Furious, one of them, and Ludacris was absolutely horrible. Back to the situation. The situation is an Italian dude in Jersey Shore. I don't even know the other. There was a girl that got real popular, like Snooki or Nucky or whatever. Nookie or Snooki? Snooki, right? Snooki. And anyway, the situation, I don't know, was it a brother or cousin or whatever, but he's an Italian dude. And I just remember the dude always, tanning, and he always wore shirts that kind of showed off his physique. And it wasn't like his physique was super hot or anything, but he would show off his physique. And he was just trying, gave himself the name, The Situation. Who gives yourself the name, The Situation? But anyway, The Situation left. Jersey Shore got canceled, which I don't know how much money they made. I don't think in those reality shows you make a whole lot of money, but you try to get your brand going from there. So The Situation gets his brand going. He's making money, probably giving speeches, appearing in different places. I don't know. And he's guilty of tax fraud. Yeah, guilty of tax fraud. It's not like, it's not earth-shattering. It isn't like we found out that Hillary Clinton has been cheating on her Clinton Foundation taxes, which she is. We ran the numbers on her. What Hillary did is just amazing. The Situation needs to call Hillary and say, look, who's your attorney, Hillary? Because I could use that guy right now. Who is Hillary's attorney? I don't know who it is, but remember when the Clinton Foundation had to refile? And then they were like, no, we got a clean bill of health from some agency that they donate money to or whatever. The Clintons are dirty, going down, and The Situation needs to get their lawyer to keep his butt out of prison. I don't know what's going to happen, because I guess if it's a tax mistake, then you just pay the fine, right? I'm asking you guys like you know. If it's a tax fraud, then you do some Martha Stewart time, or Leona Helmsley. You do some rich white woman time. Yeah, you got those two. We got anything else in pop culture? The Situation, I'm not, I don't like these reality shows. I watch $1 Million Listing. You guys watch that? I like that show. And I don't even know why. It's kind of a train wreck. There's a bunch of pretentious people that are the sellers, but the people that are developers and buyers, I'm floored when these guys throw away money, like they throw it around. Like I watched a lady walk away from like $1 million more on a house. She's like, no, I'd rather sell it to somebody that's going to treat it the way I think they'll treat it. Wow.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Remember Nancy Pelosi said? She said it's going to be Armageddon if this tax bill passes.
Right. People are going to die.
Now you have more than 1 million people that have received more than $1 billion between that just in bonuses. And just think, starting next month and in March, people are going to be taking more home in their paychecks because the withholding tables are coming out. But what's even more interesting that no one talked about prior, we know the freeze that is going on and the energy cost. Look, energy company after energy company lowering their rates because of the tax benefit and passing that on to their customers. So you're seeing it in so many, from your wages, from the minimum wage going up, from maternity leave being longer, to now even some of your bills being less because of this tax bill. This really is the start of America's comeback.
America's coming back. Welcome back, everybody. Whoa, America's back. America is back. MAGA, make America great again. People know that. They know MAGA instantaneously. America first. What do you say? That was McCarthy. And he's talking about all the things that this tax plan has done. How can you argue with this? This is why I said, forget all the scandals. How do you argue with this? Donald Trump said, I'm going to not only keep business here, I'm going to bring it back with a tax cut. How do you argue with people getting $1 billion in their pockets instantaneously? How do you argue with the free market giving raising its own minimum wage standards, not government forcing them, just doing it. How do you argue with that? How do you argue with success? Democrats will find out how to do it. Democrats will do it every time. They don't care. They don't care that Donald Trump's tax cut is successful. They will sell it like it's Lucifer created it himself, and you are going to burn in HE double cricket socks for being part of it, whatever. If you take that money, you're going to rot. That money's no good. Bad juju. So that's just what they do. But here's what's interesting. The Democrats believe this strategy is going to work. They bet on the all-in strategy that if none of us vote for this tax cut, and we can sell this tax cut as for the rich are getting richer, nobody's in this, that, and the other, and it is totally backfired. Now, I'll ask you this. You think they're calm about this new development? Or you think they're panicked? Because let me tell you something. When Donald Trump said he needed to cut taxes, he didn't think about it. He didn't poll test it. He didn't try to find out what are people's. He knows it's your money. We need to give it back. You're going to do the right thing by it. You're going to put it back you're going to put it into an economy that's growing. Let me tell you, one of the first things that many people in America did when they got that money back, they said, I need to put this money in the stock market. You'd be crazy to be missing the stock market right now. I know Kevin is due for a correction, and you'd be crazy not to be in the stock market taking something. If you have, I'll put it to you this way: if you'd had $500 and you put it in Boeing rose 139% or something like that since election time, since Donald Trump got elected, and this is after Donald Trump said to Boeing, if you don't get your act together and building Air Force One, I'm going to pull that contract from you. Yeah, it's after he threatened them. Their stock has gone up 139% or something like that. Caterpillar, all these companies just shooting up. And you'd say, well, it's due for a correction. We're not talking artificial. He's not putting money in there and, printing it and going, okay, look at what the economy's doing. He's saying, nope. And I'm still going to, I haven't done this yet, but maybe you guys can do it during the next break. I know we don't have a whole lot of show left, but maybe so. But I said, Donald Trump has held our debt relatively steady. I said this the other day. How do you do that? This man is calm. See, timid men prefer the calm despotism to the tempestuous sea of liberty. That's what Thomas Jefferson said. Trump's not a timid man. He's saying, we don't need big government. You don't need it either. But let me tell you what the left is going through right now. And this is a quote from Ovid. He says, the man who's experienced a shipwreck shudders even at a calm sea. That's what you have on the left. These are people that have been through a shipwreck. They don't know what to predict with Obama. Sure, his elitists got rich. You, at the base level, what he would call Main Street, you got ripped off. Wall Street made out like a bandit. Main Street got ripped off. You don't know if you're going to have a job. You don't know if you can get a job. You don't know if you're going to pay your bills, blah, blah, blah. Barack Obama hoped that your electricity would go higher. He said it. He says, I hope gas goes to $7-8 a gallon. That'll force you into renewable energy. And oh, by the way, that's going to be more expensive initially and probably for a long time. He didn't care. He wanted that. You just heard McCarthy say, electric companies are giving people something back. Now, let me explain to you what happens when the electric company, see, that's the way black people said, electric. We don't use that first E. You can have that E. Give it to a Polish dude. He can put it between that S and the Z. Anyway, what Donald Trump did by lowering these costs and giving money back to these utilities is he gave everybody a raise. If you're on a fixed income and you save $50 on your electric bill, you got a $50 raise. You got money maybe for a movie, Forget the tax base. I mean, if you're poor, you're probably not going to be getting a lot of money back necessarily, but you're going to get raises in these other things. Food cost is going to go down. That's what I was really trying to say. I just didn't finish it. But for you all out there going, you hear that? You hear what Kevin's saying? He's probably in there smoking weed. I don't smoke weed. But do you get what I'm saying? These are things that impact everybody. Wait till these checks start going back. These when people's checks are larger, because when they do those withholding tables he was talking about. So let's say you theoretically were going to get back $1,000 last year, and suddenly you're getting back $3,500. So instead of $100 being in your, out of your paycheck, you're going to have $200 in there because there's going to be a delta. You're going to be like, what? Why's my paycheck bigger? Trump tax cut. This kicks in March. What do you think's going to happen by November? Forget. I told you, take politics out of it. Take the scandals that's going to come up, and they're going to just be bleeding the Democrats dry. Take those out. What do you think's going to happen in November? Everybody's talking about Donald Trump's concerned because, they've been losing these elections. Donald Trump is calm. Calm. There was another calm quote that I want to tell you about. A guy named Johann Gaspar Leviter, and he says this: "He who seldom speaks, and with one calm, well-timed word can strike dumb the loquacious, is a genius or a hero." And what he's describing there, years ago, Johann, Donald Trump on Twitter. Donald Trump correcting the record, doing what he does best, taking a very small number of words and just blowing away those who speak lots. Barack Obama talking about, he gave a 4-minute plus speech. I ain't even gonna say his name, but you know who I'm talking about. He's saying he's gonna save Kerry. They all say that. They all come in here and what's he gonna do? You gonna wave a magic wand? And he went on to say that not only is he not going to save Carrier, he's not bringing manufacturing back. You need to get used to, and here are the 2 words you should keep in mind: the new normal. That's what Barack Obama called it. And these knucklehead leftists have the nerve to tell us Trump is inheriting Barack Obama's economy. You got Apple going, Tim Cook, gay leftist leader of one of the largest companies in the world, and he says, nope, I'm doing it for the tax cuts. Talked about it the other day. There's no sense belaboring it. Just telling you, folks, the left have to panic. And a panicked person doesn't do very well in any situation. Panic causes tunnel vision. It causes you to see, a hopeless situation, and you say, this is the only way out, and you're not able to think because your mind gets cluttered. I don't know chemically what's going on. I could give you some theories, but it doesn't help you. Calm acceptance of danger, calm acceptance of the inevitable lets you assess the situation better, and then you see the options available to you and you take them. What the left told you about Donald Trump is what they told you about themselves. He's reckless. He's unhinged. They are. He's calm. He knows the direction he wants to go. No big issue at all. He was laser focused on tax cuts. When Donald Trump implemented the tax cuts, you didn't go a year waiting on a website to be developed. It worked, and it worked right away. Wait till you see the rest.
Kevin Jackson on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177 or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. Let me tell you something that we as conservatives have been wanting for some time. Accountability. Accountability in government. So let me give you an example of where that accountability is needed to occur and how we've been, held hostage to some degree by these rogue legislators. By the way, kjradio.com. Or if you want to call the show, 844-551-8255. Sanctuary cities. Illegal. Illegal on their face. There is no way that a city can tell somebody who's illegal in this country, we will protect you over the rights of other citizens. And that is exactly what's been happening. This case, don't know, was it in L.A.? Where this guy shot... He shot two deputies and killed them and hijacked a car. And his excuse was he was high on dope. But then when he got into court, he tried to get an insanity plea and try to, I'll kill more of them MFs and all these other things, and starts going bananas. And he's a crazy guy. Was it drug-induced or whatever? I don't know, don't care. But here's what's interesting. He had been deported, came back over, deported again, drug issues, drug charges, not a solid citizen. Now, there was a lot of news coverage about this guy prior to all the other stuff that's come up where we know that the Democrats are now, number one, using Dreamers because they want votes. We also know that they tried to cheat Donald Trump out of the election. They used the office of the FBI, the NSA, to spy on Trump. They used the FISA courts, so they got the legislators, the judicial involved, and on and on. And so it takes a little bit of the steam out of the fact that some crazed illegal who's been back and forth over here because of our porous borders and the fact that we don't have a wall, and he killed two law enforcement officers. By the way, plug for Bleeding Blue, my movie. We're lining up people who are willing to do a showing for us. I'm going to tell you right now, it'll cost you between $1,000 and $1,500 if you want to do a showing. I'll help you promote it. Well, I hope I can get some folks up in Oregon to do it. Hope I can get some folks up in Utah, wherever we're got the show. St. Louis, many others. Sign up. Get on these. We'll get the website isn't up to date right now, but it will be literally in a couple days. And you can go there, sign up, tell us you want to do a showing. So we're doing a big fundraiser for it here in a few days, actually. But that movie becomes more important when you see stories like this. The left don't even care. They don't care that this guy killed two law enforcement officers, hijacked somebody's vehicle, and had committed all other kinds of crime. Dope crimes, you name it. He's got a rap sheet now for sure. He's in court laughing at us. In a sanctuary state. Probably a sanctuary city. There is no such thing. California's top elected official, Jerry Brown, Moonbeam, is nothing more than a common criminal because I'll ask you this. Here's a scenario. See, in America, we're taught to help people, even in the People's Republic of California. So I want you to imagine if a man comes to your doorstep, he's hungry and he's disheveled, possibly homeless. You don't know. You're just looking at him. He's a mess. Your humanity kicks in because that's what it does for all of us. So you say, you know what? I don't have a whole lot to offer, but I'll give you some leftovers from the family dinner. I'm going to give you a blanket to keep warm. Guy seems harmless. So you extend your hospitality even further. You say, you know what? Why don't you sleep in the garage just for the night? And that's when things go bad. Because your neighbor recognizes the guy. And as it turns out, he's a fugitive, wanted for the murder of a young girl. So it was a bad idea that you let the guy stay there, right? Could have killed your family, could have killed your daughter. But again, You're a leftist. You're a humanitarian. You want to help. Your neighbor calls the police, who shortly thereafter show up and they arrest this wanted criminal, this fugitive. But now, guess what? You're in hot water. Yeah, you've aided and abetted a criminal. And that's what you're charged with. Now, too bad you're not a Clinton. You might get away with it. But when you meet with the district attorney, you tell him, look, I didn't know this guy was was a criminal. I thought he was a homeless beggar. And he explains the old legal axiom, and I'm sure you've heard it. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. And now here's the twist. That's the same scenario that you could describe for us with these so-called sanctuary cities, because America's cities are overrun at times with illegals doing what? Knocking at the door, metaphorically. Certainly, most are just hungry, cold, and wet. But some of them carry a little bit more baggage. They're hardened criminals, murderers, rapists. And the statistics bear it out. And leftists know far too often that illegal immigrants commit serious crimes like robbery, rape, and murder. They know this. But some states and municipalities aid and abet these criminals, even offering them housing, medical care, cell phones. Can you imagine if you had in your garage a person who killed somebody's daughter, a fugitive from justice, not that he's got to run in a sanctuary city or a sanctuary state, and you're required to feed him, house him, give him a cell phone and pay the bill, and maybe even provide transportation. Some states even give these people voter registration cards. There was a story that they are doing voter registration drives in America for Mexicans. I've seen this story. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. But the real reason they want them here, the real reason they're registering these people is not because they want to help them. It's because they want their vote. And our government creates the very rules that would get you locked up that they won't even follow. San Francisco pays their criminals outrageous sums of money because of some loophole in the law. There was a guy that got turned over to ICE, illegal, and he got $300,000 because of some crazy ordinance in San Francisco that says, no, he should get some money. How many taxpayers paid that money? What could have happened? What could have been done with that money that would have been productive? So President Trump, he starts cracking down on these sanctuary cities. Day one. His passion for this issue came up when Kate Steinle got killed, and he was like, look, we got to do something. And a year after his election, California proves leftism is alive and well when they let her killer go free. So now Trump says, look, we got to start doing, we got to make a difference. We got to hold politicians accountable. When they fail to obey the very laws set to protect our country, something's got to happen. And Jerry Brown, hopefully this spells trouble for him. There was an interview on Fox News with ICE Director Thomas Horman, and he declared, it's time to start arresting politicians in sanctuary cities and charging them with crimes. I 100% agree. They are daring us to do it. Neil Cavuto was the show that Holman was on. And these cities don't even cooperate with immigration at all. And he went on to talk about, well, it's a violation of, 8 section does that and the other, which they call it the alien smuggling statute. And he says, I've asked the Department of Justice to look into this. Can we hold them accountable? Are they violating federal law? And then he got pressed by Cavuto. He says, what do you do if the Justice Department says the law is being violated? Holman suggested the politicians be held personally accountable. He went on to say this. We've got to take these sanctuary cities on. We've got to take them to court. We got to start charging some of these politicians with crimes. He says these sanctuary cities are un-American. And according to Holman in the conversation that he was having with Cavuto, I'm thinking Jerry Brown should be the perfect poster boy for saying enough is enough. Brown in October signed a bill that made California the nation's first sanctuary state. Went into effect on January 1. Says bars law enforcement officers in the state from arresting individuals based on civil immigration warrants, asking about a person's immigration status, or participating in a joint task force with federal officials for the purpose of enforcing immigration laws. State of California better hold on tight, Cavuto said. More citizens are going to die because of these policies. And when they say that the governor and the mayors and any legislators who allow this to happen are the ones who are going to be held accountable, you're going to watch this. Suddenly, everybody's going to go, no, we can't be doing that. What is the logic behind this? It's like James Wood said the other day. What kind of logic where we're having to fight to obey the very laws of the land? And these are not slavery or whatever. This is common sense legislation. Anyway, I'm going to have to leave it there, but whoa, we had a heck of a day. Boy, I tell you, it's going to be nothing but good news this week. You guys hang in there. Promise you, stay calm. You're going to love it this week.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.